Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga-Texas construction update video.
Well, welcome back out to Giga-Texas. It's Wednesday, the 18th of October. This is also the third quarter financial results meeting that'll be held here at Giga-Texas later today. Now, I know a lot of people are interested in finding out how they did with deliveries and finances and all that other information, but probably the biggest thing is what's going on with Cybertruck. And I honestly do hope that we get some information from Tesla later today at this meeting. So make sure you check it out. It'll be at about 4:30 Central Daylight Time, which is 5:30 Eastern Time or 2:30 Pacific Time. And we'll find out what's going to happen, and hopefully we'll get some good information about Cybertruck. Now, a few things going on in the site that's of interest today. First, as you can see by this image, over at that west main entrance, they had crews cleaning up that stone glass trapezoidal raised pedestal underneath that beams with the stainless steel. Looks like they're getting ready for some sort of maybe either a presentation or some sort of maybe event related to the third quarter financial meeting today. Another big thing that is going on, a big change today, is on the south end. As you can see by this image, not only have they cleaned up the entire south end and have finished the CFA pile drilling on the west side and removed those equipment over farther to the east, but also on the southeast side of stamping, we see the first excavation for footings. So the extension of the building work is now officially underway. Also, as you can see by this image nearby, crews were very busy manufacturing more of those rebar cages that will go into those footings. So we may start seeing quite a bit of footing work throughout this entire area now. And I think that's outstanding, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they will come up with. Now, farther to the east, over at that multi-level parking garage, we also see more footing work, excavation, rebar assembly, and some concrete, especially over on the west side of that facility. So a lot of construction, large construction, is getting ready to be underway here, and we'll see some more vertical assembly really soon. Now, everybody wants to know about the Cybertruck, and I put a poll out on Twitter last night asking how many people or how many Cybertrucks people thought that I might see in the outbound lot today during my flyby. And as you can see by this poll, and what the most popular answer was 10 or more. However, the real answer, as you can see by this image, is that there were 4. But a big change is none of them have car covers. And from what I understand is the use of car covers may have now come to an end. And maybe this is related to the financial results meeting. Maybe it's related to something else. I don't know. But it's really great to see 4 brand new Cybertrucks uncovered in the outbound lot today. So anyway, a lot more to see and talk about in the site today and throughout the video. Hopefully we'll get some great word and information later on today from Tesla about Cybertruck and other things. But as always, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.
If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are interested in Tesla products, you can help yourself and support me by using my referral code. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga-Texas. It's a beautiful morning and sunrise over Giga-Texas on this very important day with the third quarter financial results coming out. Also, hopefully we'll get some information about Cybertruck and when we might see its production really ramping up and a delivery event, and also some big changes on the south side of the factory, which you can see right across the road. But for right now, we're going to start off on the southwest side, taking a look at the West Warehouse on Wheels, River Road on the right-hand side of the screen. And as we pan towards the north, just where this is located in relation to the main factory, you can see the new end-of-line facility under construction and its large outbound lot also under construction at the top of the screen. On the left, coming into view, is the material staging yard, and there's some interesting deliveries here in these large white packages. This is in the area where there's that TKS paint system trailer. So we may be seeing some more of that being delivered and then installed into Giga-Texas in the coming weeks. The outbound lot itself is continuing to take shape. A lot of the trenching and the underground pipe work is well underway. As you can tell, there's a lot more of the concrete vaults and pipe segments waiting for installation still. And we can see a few other of these brown steel items waiting for their final movement and installation into the end-of-line facility. There is some more trenching here, kind of in a diagonal on the bottom right of the screen. We see the HDPE pipe on the left, and also the horizontal drilling operation. There's one drill just passing to the bottom right, and there's another drill in action too. We can see some of these more of that black HDPE pipe, smaller diameter, waiting for its fusing together, and then the whole thing, including this large pipe next to those workers, will be pulled through this bore that they are working on right now with that horizontal drill underneath the highway over to the main factory. We also see here near the north end of the building trenching, a trench box, and steel corrugated pipe for the underground water management being installed. The conduit on the left here has had most of the trench work completed and filled back in. We see this excavation and the concrete vaults that the pipe work will go through, and this is to help aid with the pulling of the cables through the conduit. And they need to have a certain distance where there will be a vault so that it's easier to continue to pull that wire all the way through. The movement here with that 90-degree turn to the west continues. More of the pipe work has been installed, and we can see that concrete with that red mix on top on both the westbound and the northbound sides. Bringing the drone down lower, this is a good view inside the south end, and we can see how the steel erection of the parts continues. Also, more of the paint work in white is underway. The beams on the walls and also the rest of the roof is completed. We see some of the insulation getting ready to be installed and more of the roof decking. And also get just a good view of how the north end of the roof looks today, and another perspective of the horizontal drilling underway, along with some more trench work for the underground stormwater pipe. So I'm going to get ready to reposition the drone across the highway, and we'll take a look at where the horizontal drilling is exiting from underneath the highway on this side of the factory. And here is a good view. Looks like the water has been drained out of the pit for the most part, and you can see those steel pipes, and also that pipe that's going into the pit. That's part of the drilling operation and what they use to make the bore. So it looks like they have made progress, and maybe we'll start seeing some of that pipe being pulled through. Now, the temporary end of line is very busy today, and we're going to see a lot of Model Ys on the east side. Looking through the doors, you can see a lot more Model Ys getting ready to have their final checks before they drive out on those ramps, and then they're moved over to the east side. So really great sign. Another great sign coming up for the third quarter financial results is it looks like there's crews cleaning up this stone glass, kind of that black shiny material on that trapezoidal platform. They also have some of the lighting on, which is nice to see. But I think that they must be cleaning this up just in preparation for some sort of maybe presentation or photo op or something else. And who knows, maybe we'll see or hear something from that in the financial results meeting later today. looks like there's a HVAC duct, maybe a dual duct here, getting ready to be moved up onto the platform and installed inside this area. So progress and equipment deliveries continues throughout the general assembly lines 2 and 3 and all 4 floors and mezzanine levels on this side. Now there's some pretty big updates and developments on the south side, so I'm going to give you a good tour through this area and show you what those are. First of all, on this west side, as I turn the drone around, you'll see that a lot of materials have been cleaned up. We can see that there's a new set of materials with that yellow wrapping that has just been delivered. On the left-hand side, you'll see that the CFA pile drilling equipment has been removed. There's also some pile caps that we can see in kind of a diagonal line, kind of paralleling that asphalt road. And of course, we see the scaffolding on the south end where they're putting more of that textured material onto those yellow panels, getting ready to stain them white. And as I come down closer, I just want to show you this material. Looks like it may be possibly related to production line assembly, but it looks like they're using the opportunity with the cleaned up area here for storage of that material. So hopefully we'll see that continue to be moved inside. But as I continue to move around on this south side, you can see on the upper left that clearing where some of the cranes are located. There's also some footing excavation, and I'll give you some closer views. And related to that is here where we see the crews actively building and assembling more rebar cages, these kind of the square cages. This gives you a good idea of the size. These will be put into the excavations and make the footings that will support the columns that will support the building extension. As I pan back towards the west, I'm going to fly over this area here where it's all being prepared most likely for excavation work for the footings. And we can see the drill onto the left. Also more of that scaffolding and that preparation of that stamping 2 extension section in kind of that yellow material. And on the walls here on the corner, we can see that they are starting to put that white stain on that textured material on those blue temporary or the panels that they've put in for the windows and that door. Here's a really good view of the excavation work now for the footings. And in addition to the footings, you can also see those white pipes. This whole area has a plumbing manifold system already installed, and all of the CFA piles are already installed. And now with the footings, this is a really great sign to see some of that extension work. The tanks on the right, there's still 6 of them with some of the other materials that are related for its installation, just waiting for their opportunity to be moved inside. And as I bring the drone up over the power lines, I just want to give you a really good view of this south end, how it's starting to transform. You can again see where they brought all that dirt and spread it in this kind of triangular section on the center to the east side. You can see where the excavations are for the footings, the rebar cage assembly on the left, River Road on the left, and the Cyberpond, and then just generally how this entire south end is looking right now. So really great to see, and I'm really interested to find out what this new extension is going to look like. Good view here on the east side, just again showing you some more of the equipment, some new deliveries, looks like crates have been delivered. They're getting ready to move them up onto that platform, and a lot more activity as well. Now as I bring the drone back down here on the multi-level parking garage site, we can see on the left, more of those rebar cages being prepared for footings. A lot of activity on the west side, and I'll give you some closer view in a moment. We can see geopier work continues now on the center to the west side, and of course more of the steel corrugated pipe waiting for its installation here on the east side. And you can see some of that excavation work already underway. More of the pipes have been laid out and starting to make what looks to be a manifold section going on this east side, and probably underneath where we'll see this road that will go from left to right. As I continue to move the drone towards the north, we get a good quick glimpse of the outbound lot. We see a lot of the Model Ys trucks picking up the Model Ys, and we can see those 4 Cybertrucks. And I'll bring it back for a much closer view shortly. But I do want to give you a closer and lower end view of the work that's going on here on this multi-level parking garage, and how it is continuing to be prepared for that big construction that we're expecting soon. Now, I will go ahead and zoom in, give you a good view of the concrete that's already been poured, and at least two of the footings have been done. Now we see this excavation work, more of the rebar has been placed, and even some concrete has been poured amongst the frames around where those footings are being constructed. Here we see more excavation work for another footing, and the geopier is busy on this far west side, which will most likely be a perimeter grade beam of this structure once it's completed. So anyway, it's great to see that we're going to have two major construction projects going vertical in the near future. Now, the testing and calibration lot is busy. We can see vehicles driving on the test track at the bottom of the screen, more of them going through this tent for the checkouts, a lot over at the superchargers, and then more of them kind of filling into that center section. Looks like a lot of black Model Ys today, so maybe that's kind of a popular color. And as you can tell here, there's quite a few of those as well on the outbound lot. And this is a really good closer in view of the activity and the number of Model Ys, so the production rate is really increased. As I mentioned, there are 4 Cybertrucks. Here's where they are located. I've recently been told that the use of car covers is probably now a thing of the past. That'll give us a really good view of what these Cybertrucks look like. 3 of them look completely brand new, or for the most part. One of them looks like it's been driven around a little. You can tell with some of that kind of that stain work on the front trunk and also the window. But overall, great close-in view. We can see there's 3 that have just basic wheels. One has the larger wheel covers on them. There are plastic on the seats, which I think is a great sign. And I don't know, but I've had a viewer ask me if the roof panels may be something that is electrically operated that will dim the apparent visibility through that window. I don't know if that roof has that capability or not, but this is a good view of that tonneau cover and how it works, and also just generally how 4 Cybertrucks together without covers looks in the early morning sun here at Giga-Texas. And I hope that you enjoy these views. And I hope that we get some really good information later today about what the status is of Cybertrucks and when the main delivery event will happen. I'll take this opportunity to bring the drone down and give you a good view in through the windshields. Again, you can see the plastic on the seats, and they all have black interiors. And you can see the one on the right has got a little bit of dirt on it, probably for being driven around. But overall, this may indicate a big change in Cybertrucks, the fact that we aren't seeing car covers anymore. So I'm going to reposition the drone, and we're going to head over towards the battery cathode plant. We'll take a look at some of the changes on that side of the site today. One of the things that I noticed right off the bat is there's a lot more work in the alleyway between the die shop on the left and the battery cathode plant on the right. You can see what looks to be more of that trench work for that steel corrugated pipe, which is part of the water management system, now running through the middle of this alleyway. There's also some formwork being put next to the wall of the die shop, and a lot of other activity as well. Inside the south end of the battery cathode plant, we see those pneumatic blenders on the left, the platform, and some more of those beams and columns that have been installed. Looks like more have been delivered on the ground, getting ready for installation. And this is just a good overall view of what it looks like inside. Of course, more equipment on the ground, and we still have those mystery red items on the side of the building that hopefully I'll be able to figure out what they are and let you know soon. Now, what I want to do show you is on this east side, the amount of excavation work that is continuing far to the east of the crash test facility is developing even further. There's been some trees removed. Looks like there's a pond that they're getting ready to fill back in potentially. There is some excavation work that is going on. So I don't know if they're just expanding a water detention pond here or if they're preparing it for something else. But this is a really good view overall of how this east side looks and all of the work that is being done to widen this section significantly from where it used to be. And looking at the wade pit, this gives you a good idea also just how much wider this area is becoming. Now, as I turn the drone around, you can see at the bottom of the screen where it looks like more trees are already being removed. So we may see this widening much further. So it's a great thing to put on the list to keep a track of. Now, as I reposition the drone up here farther to the northeast, just to give you an idea of all the materials and those 2 stainless steel tanks waiting for installation at some point. And hopefully we'll find out soon where those are going to go. But there's also a lot of work still on the north end of the battery cathode plant, specifically around those receiving doors and that loading section. And then here, the lift station looks like it's continuing to get a lot of work, and the lids are nearby, so hopefully we'll see this closing up pretty soon. The water on this west side on the ground is mostly dried up. We do see excavation work near that tree. Of course, on the bottom of the center of the screen, we can see those white pipes sticking up out of the ground. That indicates where that steel corrugated pipe under the ground goes. And you can see how it will connect to that excavation work at the top of the screen. The chiller plant continues as always with a lot of work going on, specifically on the ground floor. And then here is where they are continuing that excavation work, as we kind of discussed, across where this road section will be. They're going to extend that underground concrete conduit and those pipes, and it will connect the 2 facilities at the chiller plant in the very near future. So as I bring the drone up a little, this gives you a good overall view of all of this activity that is going on, in addition to the nitrogen and the vaporizer system on the left, which I'm still monitoring to see what they're going to do now that they've moved some of the tanks. The north side of the die shop continues to show that possible furnace underneath that awning has been getting some additional work, and that workshop modifying the pipes has continued as well. Now here is where the excavation work is allowing that underground steel pipe to proceed on this west side near this kind of a berm. And we can see more of the work on the south end, more of the gravel that is kind of lined underneath the pipes in those trenches, and more work on the windows on the left. Here's a good look at the latest amount of trenching and the trench box and the preparation for the steel corrugated pipe. And again, this is a good view of how the gravel is put into the trench itself and helps to anchor down those pipes. Work here at the Tesla intersection continues. It looks like a new section on the left now is being prepared for asphalt, and the one on the right with the cones is what has recently been completed. Also, the 4-way stop signs or stop lights are definitely operational and helping to direct the traffic right now through that area. So we'll see how that continues to develop. As I fly over the east parking lot, I want to return back to the east side of the main factory, because there's several things that I do want to show you that is going on here today. First, which is very evident, is the white stain that's continuing to be applied to the exterior concrete walls and working to the north. You can see another section of windows with plastic, also the receiving doors with plastic too, as they continue to apply that stain work. There's also this large excavation on the left-hand side of the screen. You can get a good sense of what they are doing with the formwork next to the walls and preparing that section. As I mentioned, the new receiving doors and how they look with that concrete raised platform and the load levelers. More of the rear Cybertruck castings on the left. And of course, this section here, which is waiting for everything else to be finished before they can complete that concrete apron work. The work here continues to install the cables through the conduit to connect up to the new electrical switchyard. And there are some developments up there we'll talk about later in the video, but you can get a good sense of how this whole work is continuing to progress right now. This area continues to have a lot of milled and completed Cybertruck rear castings. And again, the thing that is most notable and interesting, and hopefully we'll find out maybe more from Tesla later today, is that it's pretty much all rear castings. It's very rare to have seen a front casting for the Cybertrucks. And this is a good view of what these look like with that zoom in and where this is located on the east side of the casting machine structure. Since I'm here, I'm going to bring the drone down and give you a good look at these ducted fans and the continued work to prepare for this new ventilation system that will support the furnaces that have been installed just under the roof on the right-hand side of the screen, and also why they removed the windows on the east side to allow that ventilation. There's a lot more of these square or rectangular bases that need to be installed on the roof, and then those ducted fans connected to them to allow for that airflow. On the northeast side of casting, I'll bring the drone down and give a good view of some of the activity here. Near this vault in the bottom center of the screen is where the cables are going through the conduit up to the electrical switchyard. We see more stair items, some more of those fan units on the left. And then here, I'll zoom in, we see these crates. These are amino items, and this is usually some sort of automation equipment. And you can actually see the serial number right there on that crate. So if you want to look it up, you can, and let me know in the comments what you find out what it is. As we continue to work our way along the north end of the building, we see more concrete vaults being brought by truck underneath the drone. And then here we see 4 Model Y bodies. They've been painted. The white one actually has what almost looks like spray out panels, which are used by painters to kind of assess the color of the paint. That's what it looks like to me on that front white hood. And as another viewer has pointed out, there's floors in all 4 of these vehicles. Not sure if that just indicates anything specific about the type of battery being used at Giga-Texas right now, because I have seen Model Y bodies that are painted out here without floors. But it is interesting to see what they're doing here with those painted bodies. We also see these stands with what looks like bumpers. Those are actually the mounts that are used in the paint shop to paint the bumpers during that manufacturing process. And then finally, over at the northwest corner, the battery 4680 cell production, we can see more of those large crates have been delivered. And if the pattern holds, these are unpacked on the ground and then moved up to the 4th floor via that taller platform on the left by the crane. We see a lot more of the steel items still waiting for movement inside to complete that construction that's going on inside that portion of the factory. So I'm going to reposition up towards the electrical switchyard, and we'll talk about some new changes that's going on up in this part of the site. Previous video, we saw a large red crane getting ready to remove some equipment. And now with this zoom in, we can see that one of the transformers on the sort of the center of the screen, you can see where it used to rest on the ground, has been removed along with all of its equipment. And it looks to me like it's possible that it's at least been partially de-energized, maybe completely. And the power is now being provided almost exclusively from this new electrical switchyard. Now what I'm zooming in here is to show you that the wires are now almost all cut and prepared for connection right in the center of the screen. You can compare that to the one on the top of the screen. The one on the top of the screen is actually connected to the transformer that's powering Giga-Texas right now. The second one is still waiting for the final connections to be made, some of which are on that east side of the casting that we talked about earlier in the video. And once all that's done, then this entire switchyard can be powering Giga-Texas. Now on the north end, this is what will connect directly to the north side of the Megapack installation. And we can see that the crews have erected this large platform, and they're working on these very large cables that are coming up out of the conduit through the ground, being held up by those kind of the horizontal beams. And it looks like they are getting ready to prepare this to be connected directly to the grid. So very cool to see this progress continuing. And with the zoom out, it gives you a good idea where this is located in relation to the electrical switchyard itself. As I turn back towards the south, you'll see this kind of plastic covered item. This is the other end of those wires that we saw the crews working on the platform. I'm not sure exactly why they've elected to cover this particular section, but there you go, and it's probably going to be here for a little bit of time. We can also see the perimeter fence has been finished around this section, and more of that gravel mix being spread on the ground. And here's a good view of that plastic section with some more of the wiring ready for its installation. On the south side, we see there's been grade work that's underway around the Megapacks. I think this is the final step before putting the last covering of the gravel mix, which will be one of the last steps before they can look at testing and maybe commissioning the Megapack site. So you can see some of that work being done on the right-hand side of the screen. And also the perimeter fence, all of the lighting poles have been installed as well. And as I pull away, it's a good view of the entire electrical system as it looks today. So anyway, that's a good look at this day of the third quarter financial results. And as I mentioned, hopefully we'll find out a lot of answers for people who are waiting for the Cybertruck and what's going on with its production. As always, thank you very much for watching. I very much appreciate it, and I hope you have a great week. Take care.